Hello there guys, it's Stephen here. Manchester City 3, West Bromwich Albion 0. We are 15 points clear again as United lost to Spurs. Who would have thought that Sanchez wouldn't paper over all the cracks and their weaknesses? I couldn't see it coming. Personally, I think it's absolutely fucking hilarious. But we are top of the league by 15 points. That gap, mind that gap, because it gets bigger every single game, well, most games, and we are back where we belong, 15 points clear, and a very satisfying night, a night with many subplots, and I will get onto transfer news later on. Do not worry, there's lots of talking points there to discuss, but I want to discuss the game a little bit first. But before I go too far, I want to say thank you to the newest patrons who donated after last night's video. They are R2 is a Blue, Patrick, Holly, Irene J. Owsey, Elliot Morgan and Soren Hansen. Guys, you're all heroes. Thanks for getting involved and supporting this channel. Patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany if you want to get a shout out and get involved too. But where to start on that game with all those little subplots? I'm going to start initially with Aymeric Laporte. He made his debut, or record signing, slotted into centre defence, and in truth, he had a very, very, very easy night. It didn't see much of him on the defensive front, given the fact that West Brom were too scared to come out the half for most of the game. But what we did see of him on the ball, he's a fantastic little footballer. There are absolutely no doubts about his quality in possession. Some of those ping diagonal 50-60 yard passes were absolutely beautiful, and him stepping into midfield, it looked like prime Gerard Piqué at times. Defensively, there's still lots to learn there. I don't know how good he's going to be, but he certainly can play football. He certainly looks like he'd be a Guardiola kind of defender, and he slotted perfectly into John Stones' shoes after he was ruled out for illness. He looks like another very good little player. Fingers crossed he'll improve under Guardiola exponentially, and I'm sure he will as well. But for now, the signs are very, very encouraging. I can't go too far into this video without mentioning yet again a series of absolutely shocking, awful horror challenges on our players. When is this gonna ever end? Once again, Bobby Madeley was truly atrocious. He missed a bunch of absolute horror challenges on our players. Firstly, James McLean tried to end Kevin De Bruyne, a horrible, cynical challenge. Probably should have been a red. It would have had to stop the counter attack to give him that, and I'm glad he didn't because we scored. But it's just another terrible challenge. And the one from Phillips on young Brahim Diaz, that was just genuinely GBH. How that isn't brought up, how that isn't an immediate red card, I will never know. The referees in this country are shockingly inconsistent. They are terrible. They are an absolute disgrace to their profession. I'm so bored of watching our players be kicked off the pitch every single week. There has to be some kind of inquest into this because it's getting ridiculous. Guardiola looked like he was ready to explode at the full-time whistle, ready to attack Madeley, and I wouldn't have blamed him if he'd actually just lamped him because he deserved it. Shocking referees in this league. I'm getting so bored of seeing our players get kicked to pieces week in, week out. We could have picked up an injury tonight. We had a little bit less luck. Thankfully, there was no serious injuries. Other than David Silva, hopefully that's not serious, but he did go off as a precaution. Fingers crossed it's just a little impact injury and he'll be okay. Kevin De Bruyne, what more can be said about that man? He is absolutely phenomenal. Another sumptuous display of football from Ginger Kev. The passing range, the vision, the intelligence, the desire, the work rate. He's becoming this absolutely top class, potentially the best midfielder in the world at the moment. His form, his desire, his ability to do things that others simply dream of. It's just brilliant. Another assist, another goal tonight from an all-action display full of quality, desire and leadership. Kevin is majestic, and Aguero I thought was excellent tonight as well. A few lovely little through balls, and that goal was absolutely exquisite. Now apparently in 2018 he's Europe's best scorer with 9 goals in 8 games. That's ahead of Neymar and Messi and co. That's not bad for a man that many people have written off. Aguero continues to confound expectations at the moment. He's showing that he really wants to be here next season. Aguero is scoring goals at a very quick rate at the moment, and it's great to be witnessing. And I had to give a shout out to my man, my boy, Brahim Diaz. I felt like a proud father watching him come on with 15 minutes left there. Nicola, who's just sat over there playing Skyrim, she can't hear me now, but we've been watching him since he was under 18. We drove to Wales in July 2015 to watch a pre-season friendly against Rill's first team when a young whippet slight lad called Brahim Diaz started. He was tiny then, 15 years old, but I remember laughing out loud watching that day to see how good he was as a 15-year-old, and I've been watching him ever since, and I was so delighted to see him to get on today for more than 2 or 3 minutes. The thing is, when you get on for 3 or 4 minutes, you're over eager, you rush things, you don't have that composure that you need because you're so desperate to make an impression in 4 minutes. Today he got 15 to 20 minutes and he was so much more relaxed. He didn't overdo it. He showed some moments of real magic, some moments of strength. He showed how good his footwork is, and he didn't try and force it every single occasion. He is more than ready to be that guy that gives the senior players a rest at 70 minutes. He's also ready to start against West Brom at home if we need him to. I'm not saying start him in a League Cup final, but I'm saying when we're playing like a West Brom at home, he's definitely good enough to be involved largely. We need to use players like him. We've got so much potential. If this Mahrez thing doesn't come off and it looks like it's basically dead in the water, there is some positive that someone like Brahim got game time tonight and prove how good he can actually be. Brahim is a quality little footballer. At some point, we've got to realise that these players that we've got on our doorstep, people like him, they're good, you know. They're very good, and we cannot waste a talent like that. And hopefully Pep realises this. Pep does realise this, I'm sure. And hopefully the Mahrez thing doesn't go through, and it probably won't. We give people like Brahim a chance to show how good they actually can be, because he's ready to be involved in this squad. Overall, though, it was a routine performance. Edison had very little to do. We were defensively sound. We wasted a few chances, but we were largely very good tonight. We controlled the game. It was very easy. Very much a routine victory. And we're the first team in England this year to score over 100 goals in all competitions. We are back firing at all cylinders, and it's lovely to see. But I'm going to get onto the transfer stuff because there's a lot to discuss there. Now, as recording this, as it stands, and who knows what would happen by the time the video's gone up, the Mahrez deal and the Fred deal are both dead in the water. I'm a little bit frustrated, not because we haven't signed those players, but because we haven't signed one of them. Now, my understanding of the transfer was that we pulled out of the Fred deal because we decided we couldn't meet Shakhtar's demands there, and after the Sane injury, we decided we wanted a winger instead, so we went in for Mahrez, and we left it a little bit late, and being totally honest. Now, if you're going to pull out one deal that's, you know, that you're deep into discussions with, you've got to make sure that you get the other one, and if you don't, you basically end up with none. You leave a little bit with egg on your face. Our squad is still very strong. Our players are still very good. I'm sure we'll still win maybe 2, maybe 3 trophies this season, but we kind of messed this up a little bit in my personal opinion. I'm sure there's more to it that I don't understand the ins and outs of every transfer deal, obviously, but it feels like we went for one. It was relatively close, sacked that off last minute, and went in last minute with Leicester hoping to do a deal out of the blue nowhere, and didn't get that one done either. So it feels like we kind of shot ourselves in the foot, if I'm being totally honest. Now, I think in general been a little bit naive, maybe. If we're going to try and get someone like Mahrez last minute and inconvenience them to the point where we're trying to take their best player with no time to replace him, we're probably going to have to pay a premium there. We can't expect to do a deal on our own terms. I think maybe City knew that. Maybe they're just chancing their arm. But it was understandable of Leicester to say, no, actually, you're going to pay us 15-20 million as a last minute kind of tax there. I don't blame them for digging their heels, and given the fact that he's a quality player in exceptional form at the moment, given the fact that Van Dijk went for 75 million, they probably felt, you know, around 70 to 80 million was very fair. They wanted 90 apparently, we went to 65 in a player. They saw that as an insult, probably because we offered Mangala. Maybe that was just the final slap in the face for them. It looks likely now that we're going to end up with neither, and in general, it's a bit frustrating, but if we see the likes of Brahim, maybe he could be this kind of breakout story that happens because of this. Maybe it won't be the worst thing in the world. We are still a phenomenal team, as we witnessed tonight. We are still 15 points clear. We signed Aymeric Laporte, who looks absolutely fantastic, a great young player who will give us many defensive options, and we are still steamrolling this league. I wish we'd sign one of those 2 of those players, but I'm sure come the summer we'll sign someone, maybe Fred and maybe another winger, if not Mahrez back then. It's been a very interesting day over at Manchester City. A great routine win, a distraction from the transfer nonsense, which was most welcome. We've seen maybe the rise of a star in Brahim Diaz. We've seen De Bruyne beat Kevin De Bruyne, and we've seen no incomings today. Guys, it's been a very hectic 24 hours. Let me know what you think about all these events, the game, the transfers, in the comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe, drop a like on this video, because it helps get the video seen by more people, which helps make me more videos and all that kind of stuff. And I will see you probably tomorrow. Hello there guys, it's Stephen here. Thanks for watching another Esteemed Kompany video. I want to say big thank you to all the support and all the donations that came in last night. Guys, you don't really realise how much it means to me every single time one of you pledges a little bit of support to my channel. It makes me absolutely grinning work. It's a great feeling to see people willing to get behind this channel in that way. If you want to get involved, patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany. If you want to just keep watching the videos, that's more than enough for me. I appreciate all your support. Guys, I will see you next time.